ABC show.
Welcome to the ABC
That's
show.
Right. This is Attila and
Brian.
All right,
Coming to you
just
live
the two
from
of
Hunt
us.
Studios, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
It actually started when I said welcome, but that's fine. You can also.
All right. Well, as long as we're all on the same page, that's what matters. We're
Yeah.
actually waiting for our first official guest.
Yeah, that's why we have this microphone here.
That's
Nobody's
right. And
behind
who's the
microphone.
guest? Who's the guest?
My buddy Will from work.
He's got things to say,
He has things to say
things to talk about.
and places to be.
Awesome.
Apparently here,
Well, he needs to be here.
apparently here right now is not one of them.
No,
He's got more important shit.
You know what? He's probably caught in traffic with the Pittsburgh Pirates playing the San Francisco Giants tonight.
Did they start?
No, not yet, but you know how it is,
going.
man. When there's game day, man, just forget it. Traffic. I mean, you got the rush hour traffic going on, then you mix in the 50,000+ people that are going downtown and all over the place. So it gets pretty crazy, man. It gets pretty.
Yeah, but he's
crazy.
coming the opposite way. So.
Yeah, but you know how traffic is. I mean, where's he coming from? Does he have to come down like Green Tree
Mount
Hill
Washington?
and stuff? Well, there you go. So he has to deal with some of that traffic. Yeah, it's all bullshit. Traffic's bullshit.
Traffic sucks.
By the way, people are probably wondering why I'm wearing this thing.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yes, they care. You care, don't you? Yes, you do. We are. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's a great. Well, you know what? Let me. As long as we're pimping hardware.
Okay. Yeah, bring it out. Bring out.
Yeah,
the good
baby.
guys.
There it is. Okay. Although you know what though, to be fair,
It looks backwards to us. Still.
I raced in the Great Race, and after all the hoopla that we went through, I got in there. Funny story though, right?
You haven't started yet.
No, but it's funny anyway.
Okay.
So save the laughter. There were actually only two of us in it because it's been really weird the way they do the hand cycling division in the Great Race, which is a 10K that starts not far, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from my house, and it races to downtown Pittsburgh. It's an awesome track. It was a lot of fun. But here's the funny thing, right? So because of just the way they've been doing it, nobody in the hand cycle division really knew that you can do it. So I don't think I need to remind people of all the BS that went on, right? They can watch previous episodes and find out what went on with all that. Long story short, I show up at the wheelchairs. We start 15 minutes before the runners, the hand cycles. So I pull up and Ashley's already there. Now, Ashley was the only one in the female group, and I was the only one in the male doing a 10K.
So it was head-to-head battle.
Well, sort of, but I mean, Ashley's fast. I'm not knocking Ashley, but, it's like I was 5 minutes faster in a 10K. So it's just how it is. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I pull up and Ashley's sitting there waiting. And, I go through like all the people warming up, stretching and stuff. So I pull up next to her. Immediately, race officials, followed by like police and stuff, come over to talk to me, literally. And they're like, apparently Ashley told me later that when she pulled up, they said, "Oh no, you're good. We're not worried about you. We're worried about the guy who's showing up." So I don't know what
sexist.
Well, because of all the stuff that happened between me and some of the race officials, I guess I don't know what. Well, like I said, I don't want to get into the whole he said she said garbage. That's all in the past. But I guess they were a little wigged out. They weren't quite sure how fast I am, what I'm doing. They've never had a hand cyclist run this thing before, so they didn't know what to expect. So they had like these rules where in certain corners you weren't allowed to go more than 25 miles an hour, and you weren't allowed to go any faster than 40 miles per hour. I'm like, what? That's
the dumbest race in existence.
Well, it's not the only one.
A race with speed limits.
Yeah, but there are other marathons that do this nonsense. I don't know what it is. I mean, do they think that people who are in wheelchairs just automatically are going to wreck? Like, it's ready, start, and it's a big. What's the deal? Like, I can handle the speed. So, as one might guess, I ended up ignoring that rule, and my top speed actually was 46.4 miles per hour, which is awesome. So, but it was kind
downhill.
of fun. Yeah, of course, not uphill.
I'm not sure how comfortable I'd feel on that thing going
46.4.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. It feels a lot faster because you're so close to the ground. And
I've had a test run on his hand cycle a few times.
Yeah, you're right down there, and the wind's in your face.
There's a lot of dirt and wind and
yeah, you're eating bugs
and semen.
Semen. So anyway, so I get there, and first of all, like I do with every race, I go up to these guys standing around, and the fact that these usually have bicycle support who will ride along with you, And usually it's like one guy to a guy, a woman to a woman, whatever it is, right? So, but this is the first time I've done a race where the group of bike riders, cyclists, were black, and I think it actually worked in my favor because I find in my life, in my life, that usually when it comes to like being lax on rules, black guys tend to be a lot more cooler about it than white guys who tend to be like, now, sir, you went 40.5 miles per hour and you're disqualified. You know what I mean? Like these dudes were like, fuck it, he's fast. They could tell like I was in control of my bike and shit. So they were really cool, actually, very cool guys. But like every race, I go in, I go, who's the fastest guy? All right, you're with me. So they started, I don't know, further down from me. We started the starting line, and they started like, I don't know, maybe 100 yards down the street, and then they just kind of joined us. But so I pull in there, right? Then I'm sitting there, and the first race official comes over and starts explaining these rules to me. And I'm like, immediately I start working them like players work referees. You got to work these guys, otherwise, they're kind of going to be ass about it. So then he's laying down these rules on me. I'm like, what? 40 miles an hour? What? No, this is a race. It's not the great joyride on Sunday and shit. It's the great race, So then this female cop comes over. And actually, a couple male cops came over. I don't know if like what the hell they were expecting. Like what was I gonna be, a rebel and shit in a wheelchair? But they were like, now you make sure you follow the rules of the race. Blah, blah,
I think
blah.
People who enter races should be called racists.
That's right.
They shouldn't be called racers. They should be racist.
He's a racist.
Yeah.
So then this female cop comes over, and she's the one I needed on my side because she was a motorcycle cop. She was the one out front clearing the streets and stuff. And so that worked in my favor because she was actually pretty freaking cool. And she's like, well, the rule says. I'm like, look. Who has the badge? You have the badge, right? She's like, yes. I said, okay, then we're good. You go. I will follow. Don't worry about me. I promise you, I can handle the speed. So she was very cool, man. She rode out about a half a block to a block in front of me. Didn't slow down because she came over and she's like, okay, now when I do this, you're gonna have to slow down. When I do this, they start doing all these hand signals. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not gonna remember.
That should have been in the brochure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember all these hand signals. I'm worried about just not hitting a pothole and shit. I'm not looking for hand signals. What is it, baseball and shit? So, but she was cool, man. It was a fun race, and like I said, I got to hit 46.4 miles per hour, and I come in at the finish line, and followed by 2 support guys who were actually behind me. I think we lost the rest of them. But so the one dude comes up to me. He's like, damn, man, you fast as hell. So I ended up finishing in 19 minutes and 14 seconds. So that's what I'm excited about. Not the fact that I got the trophies and this, Paulo Caesar kind of thing on my head. Because I could care less about that.
Could care less?
I could care less. Couldn't care less. However, whatever the proper one is.
I mean, if you could care less, there's things that you could care less about. If you couldn't care less, that means that's the thing you care the least about.
Then I couldn't care less.
Exactly.
Yay! English lesson for the day.
Well, I mean, we've gone over this several times.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again. I'm getting to the age where I don't remember everything.
You're gonna say I could care less about something, and then I'm gonna be like, no.
Well, thank you for correcting me every time. That's your job. Yes. You're still young, fresh. English is still fresh in your mind. I'm way beyond those English classes. So
it's all right. I make just as many mistakes.
Wow, so I'm going to point them out too. So don't worry about it.
Blasphemies to the English language.
So anyway, so that was my Sunday. It was a lot of fun. And then Ashley and I and our friend Ross, I guess he's my friend too now. We rode back. We actually rode to the race, hung out for a couple of hours, and then we rode back. Yeah, I make friends very easily. I was on a bus last Wednesday. And I made friends with. So I made friends with the bus driver. Vinny was cool as hell, man. So he's we talked the entire time. He's a very cool guy. He's from Queens.
Vinny's a cool name.
It is, yeah.
You can't be named Vinny and be like, hey guys.
Yeah, I agree. But
all those people are dead.
Yes.
The people who were named Vinny at birth and grew up to be nerds are not dead.
No, yes, exactly. But yeah, so we had a great conversation. And actually, he told me when he hit me up on Facebook and we became friends. What is that?
I don't know. Don't pay attention to it.
No, I don't know. But so he said after I got off the bus, there was a woman getting off at the next bus stop or whatever, and she was complimenting him or telling him how much she enjoyed our conversation. So, but yeah, Vinny was like, yeah, man, I loved it. He's like, that bus was lively as hell when you were on there.
Well,
Like,
get him on the show.
We will. Well,
Random strangers can enjoy your conversation.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
So will
Vinny's actually a singer, and he did a lot of jazz singing. Like I said, he was born, lived in Queens, and then that's how the conversation started. And then he lived in Baltimore for a while, and due to knocking someone from Pittsburgh up, ended up moving here. So he's been living here and working as a bus driver. And I guess he said that, you know, he was getting so wigged out from all the live singing, like he didn't handle stress of being live very well. You know, it got to him, like lead singing. So like he does a lot more like church choir singing now. And that
which is still live.
It is, but when you're in a choir, it's like a comforting thing because no one hears you necessarily per se. But when you got the microphone on your hand and you got nowhere to hide, man.
I love the microphone gesture doing this.
Because that's how it goes. Since Russ is not here, I'm going to have to do it.
Oh, yeah. He does that, and it's annoying. And he's listening to this right now.
He's probably, do we have, oh, look at that. That's probably him, right?
No, it's not. I mean, I'm talking about like later when it's uploaded and he's listening to it.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, whoa, how do they know?
Hey, Bubba. We just freaked him out.
I like the way he does it. It's really loud and obnoxious.
It is.
And it pisses other people off. Not me because I don't care, but
yeah. So we get to some of the silly news stories here. Like
if our guest ever shows up.
Well, you know, we can talk about stuff when he shows up. That's related to him.
And then he's gonna walk in the door and everything's gonna be all crazy.
Chaos. How's he gonna get in here? He's gonna have to climb over you.
Yes.
Oh man, we didn't plan this out very well.
Nobody watching really knows how it's set up. All they see is this.
And all my trophies. Actually, that's not all my trophies. I have more. I'm gonna add all the hardware here.
And I should bring some of my trophies.
Yeah, why not? Well, you know what the funny thing is? I'm not really into trophies. I don't
do
stuff.
Love that too.
They probably do.
All these kind of fucking
noises that we But anyway, my point is I'm not really into trophies. I'm more into just the experience itself. But if you got them, right, you might as well show them.
Speaking of trophies, you got terrible towels on.
Yeah, well, that's not really a trophy, but you know, we are.
That is outdated.
We are in Pixar.
5-time.
Yeah, well, that tells you it's an older one. Yeah. So I got that after they won the 5th one. Yay. So anyway, so we have our first Ebola case diagnosed in the United States. All right. Is this the end, dude? Is this the apocalypse coming here? The downsizing
There's
of
no
the
such
planet.
thing as Ebola.
The downsizing of the planet has started. One Texan at a time. It said, yeah, well, it was in Texas. U.S. health officials said on Tuesday the first patient infected with the deadly Ebola virus has been diagnosed in the country after flying from Liberia to Texas. In a new sign, of how the outbreak ravaging Africa can spread globally.
So what is Ebola?
It's like, I don't know, a bad cold or something that will end up just killing you. Probably attaches itself to your cells and destroys you from the inside. So Frieden is the guy's name.
That's very. I like the way you said that.
Well, that's what it does. That's how shit gets you. Cancer cells attach themselves
to your cells and kills you from the inside out.
Right.
You rot and die.
That's all. Well, we're all going to die. It's just we're all dead. It's just a matter of
when and how. I just love
the
way you say it.
Well,
like it's just a pleasant thing.
Well, how do you know death is not a pleasant thing?
Could be.
It might be.
I figured it'd be more of like a neutral thing.
Well, could be not. It could be actually a very relieving. I mean, if you've had a shitty life, and you know, like let's say you were in a concentration, in a prison or war camp, being mistreated or something, I think at that point death would be welcomed. You know, kind of like if you're being eaten by like 5 or 6 diseases. You know,
or Ebola.
Ebola, that's right.
Or E. coli.
E. coli, yeah, E. coli is a little different. I don't fear that like I fear Ebola. Yeah. So Frieden said a handful of people, mostly family members, may have been exposed to the patient after he fell ill. He said there was likely no threat to any passengers who had traveled with the patient. That's good to know. Do I believe it? I don't know, but that's good to know. No. So I like to know how casually he says, it is certainly possible someone who had contact with this individual could develop Ebola in the coming weeks. That's a pretty casual way of saying, you know what? Shit may happen. We don't know.
Will just called my phone a little early.
Oh, he did? Well, what's he saying?
You can talk about Ebola. I'm going to call him back real quick. I'll be right back.
Damn, I'm left here by myself. But this show keeps getting smaller and less professional. Well, where are you going?
I'm just going to go right over here and continue.
He's in the other side of the room texting, I guess. Why don't you just text on the air? People like to watch you texting. Oh, he's actually making a phone call.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, fill me in. What's going on out there?
I don't know.
I hear people on the back. Oh God, there goes Chubb outside. I hear him. You can't ever escape that kid's voice. So then here's another actually pretty interesting story. Student convinced family she was on trip around Asia despite never leaving her bedroom. I love that. That one cracked me up. It's so awesome. It says here, right, a student convinced her family and friends she was on a 5-week trip around Southeast Asia, but in reality, she had never left her bedroom. After waving goodbye to her family, boy, she went all out, this chick. After waving goodbye to her friends and family at the airport, Zilla Van Den Born. He's back. Okay, I can read the story while he's here. What's the deal?
Trouble started speaking a different language. I got scared.
Yes. Hey, every time somebody closes that door, it's like boom, everything rattles in here. So anyway, so here's the story I started.
Good. It adds some texture to our.
It does.
Otherwise,
kind of like this thing.
Yeah.
So we have
other radio stations or shows, not radio podcasts. I don't know.
They try to be like professional.
Yeah, they try to avoid all that kind of. It just adds texture and warmth, and
it does. It shows that we're idiots who really don't know what we're doing, but we're having fun not knowing what we're doing. Right?
Are you having fun?
I'm always having fun, man. Just ask Vinny; he'll tell you.
I don't know who that is.
So you will. Vinny will be on here.
Well, he will be.
Well, Will's going to be on here today first.
You're right.
But then Vinny will be on at some point.
I'll keep my phone in my pocket so I can feel the vibrations.
So, I also got, by the way, before I go any further, I got the S5, right? I'm doing I wanted to, here's like how cool life is a lot of times, right? When you least expect something, you get it. I wanted the S5, but, you know, I still got my old, like, HTC phone and such, you know, so.
Shiny rectangles.
Yeah. I didn't feel like getting the S5 yet, but I wanted it, right? So what comes up? A study comes up. They called me from a study. They said, hey, we're doing a study of an app that's for people with disabilities. And, you know, to help them remember to take their medications and, you know, do their whatever regimens they need to do, etc. And they're like, do you want to be a part of it? I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem. So, well, you know, what's the thing? They're like, oh, you get a Galaxy S5. Like, what? They go, yeah, you get it for like 9 months. It's a 9-month study. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. So I get the S5. I freaking love the phone. It is the most awesome phone I've ever played with. So
what kind of stuff can you do on there?
You know what? I just simply say, what can't I do on there? Because you start listing things you can do, and then we're going to take up the whole show talking about the freaking S5. So all I got to say is it's by far the baddest phone I've ever used.
We can't. Let's not advertise stuff that aren't giving us money yet. Well, I guess they gave you.
Well, no one's giving us money. Well, yeah, I got the phone for free. And that's the best part. It's for free for 9 months anyway. So I figure at that point, I'll save up money and get the S6 or whatever.
It's like your little fetus.
Yes, fetus exactly. Phone. 9 months.
Except you have to give it away in 9 months.
Yeah, I got to give it back.
Get to keep it.
Well, I carried for someone else. There are women that do that.
So you're like...
you're like the women you hire to have a baby because, you know, your wife can't or whatever. Or doesn't want to ruin her figure. Which I'm a big fan of women not ruining their figure. So speaking of that, you should see...
It starts with an S, that word.
Okay. But you should see the best part about the Galaxy 5 was the girl who did the study, who brought it out. Oh my God, smoking hot. She's beautiful. Great, big, beautiful lips and everything. I was just like, nah. But we had fun.
Did you get her number?
Yeah, I did. Well, it's actually in there.
Nice.
But the funny thing is, right, and I don't know if she ends up having conversations with everybody.
Surrogate mother, that's what it is.
Surrogate, yes. But, you know, her coming out to bring me the phone ended up being about a 2 to 2.5 hour conversation in my living room. We ended up talking about everything under the sun.
Conversation.
Except that, well, yeah, it was a conversation.
Okay.
That's all it was. I swear to you.
For 2.5 hours.
Well, 2.5 hours. I mean, you can get a lot of stuff in 2.5 hours. Our guest has arrived. Close the door, guys. What's up,
we need to go through it.
I haven't officially met Will yet. Attila.
Will.
Nice to meet you, man. See if you can climb in here somehow.
I'll move for you.
It's a good thing you guys are both pretty skinny.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Yeah, we were just talking to you about the Galaxy S5. I'm doing a study, and I got an S5 for free for like 9 months.
Oh, yeah?
As part of that's what I said.
That's pretty
and
good.
And the woman who brought it up was like hot as balls. So
oh, yeah?
It's like,
did you get her for 5 months too?
No. 9 months though.
9 months.
I guess there's less room than I thought there was going to be.
Hey, what are you doing way over there? Now I can't see you.
Can you squeeze up on
it? Yeah, absolutely.
Squeeze up. I'm pretty small.
There we go. That's what I'm saying.
This is very intimate now.
Now it's intimate.
Now we're real deep with each other, huh?
Does he get headphones or you don't need them?
No,
I don't need
he
them.
doesn't get them.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Doesn't really matter.
can hear us.
Only the left ear works in this one.
Fair enough.
So
We don't even need them at all, really.
like totally
we just want to
unprofessional.
look professional.
It just
Totally.
looks good on the.
no, we really don't need them. Seriously, I wasn't even gonna wear it, but it helps hold this up.
Fair enough.
So-
Fair enough.
I mean, here you can use these.
I don't want to use. What I want to use those for.
He can hear us both
Clearly.
clearly. Yes. So
Just
anyway,
to look the part, you know.
Fair enough.
so we were just going every now and then, you know, as I'm browsing the internet during my weekly, just being on Facebook and all that shit. I just find interesting stories or stories that I find interesting. Anyway.
Okay.
So we just throw them down, and you know, this one I thought was pretty cool. We already went through the Ebola shit, so I said basically the great downsizing of humanity has begun.
Oh yeah, that's population control.
Yes, you need that. You need that.
You have to.
You need that. If people can't stop having babies, you need to downsize it somehow. Because I'm sorry, but when I was born in '68, I'm an old guy.
Yeah.
There were 2.4 billion people on the planet. 2.5. Now there are more people than that in China.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we're at like over 7 billion
Over 7
in
billion.
46 years. So even
That's
if
why I'm glad I know Ben.
yeah. So the thing is, like, if we don't do anything about it, then let's say it only triples again, like it did
Pretty much.
in my next 46 years.
Yeah.
So basically, by the time I'm 92, we'll have like 21 million people on the planet.
Pretty much.
If we do a good job and slow down and only double, we're still going to have 14 billion people on the planet.
Right.
So we're at the point where we're going to need people to have 1 child or 0 children.
Kind of like China.
Yeah, but and that's what I preach this to people all the time. They're like, "Oh, I see plenty of land. You know, I drive from Pittsburgh to Cleveland, and all I see is like open fields." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you know that it's filled with wildlife,
Right.
and you need to farm, and you need to, you know, right? The land isn't just here to put malls every fucking corner,
Right. Right.
you know." So,
well, I read an article. I forget who was the author of it, but they did the ideal population as a whole for the human race is 250,000, about 500,000.
500,000 or billion?
Was it 500,000?
Yeah, I think half a billion. 500 million.
500 million.
Yeah.
That's the
Half a
idea.
million is like tiny.
Yeah. So around the world.
No, I mean that 500,000. That'd be nice.
That'd be like New York a little bit.
500,000 people scattered around the world.
Your
Like
neighbor's 20
I'd be
miles.
happy.
everybody gets like, I don't know, 1,000 square miles.
Yeah, it was
happy.
it was I just got done watching this thing, and I watched this guy on YouTube. His name's Trey Smith.
Okay.
Trey Smith.
Okay.
It was about he hits different topics, but I was reading
Kind of like we do here. Anything goes.
I was thinking, how many different ways are there to spell Trey?
There's a few. There's
T-R-E.
TRE,
T-R-E-I.
TRGGA, trigger, Trey.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway,
that was a
nonetheless,
pointless digression.
to the question there, what is
That's my fault.
Oh, so what happened? What was he talking about?
Oh, I was reading up on I was reading up it was a 3-hour video about
You turn this mic down just a little bit. It's very hot in my ear anyway.
it was a 3-hour video about
Not at all, just
Noah,
like the
Noah's
biblical
Ark.
figure?
Yeah,
Okay.
Noah's Ark. It was
right.
very
Did you see the movie?
nah,
It sucked.
it did. I
Yeah.
kind of thought it's kind
It
of hard to
sucked.
grasp that type of literature in the
Well, you know,
An hour
the thing
and a
they
half.
did with it is they went very Masonic with it.
oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta watch. I mean, it's interesting just for that.
Okay.
But as like merits, I mean, the movie was like,
It's garbage,
yeah, it sucked.
pretty much. Yeah.
Which is a bummer because I was looking forward to actually, like, I would like to see one religious movie done right.
That's impossible.
It really is. Yeah, it is. But
I don't think I've seen. Well, no, probably not.
well, you got the old school shit with Charlton Heston, like "Let my people go."
Yeah, the Ten Commandments. Now that's when,
Right.
when they used to make real movies.
Right. You know, nowadays with the effects, dude, they can do anything they want,
Yeah, pretty much.
and they always fuck it up in the screenwriting and
Yeah.
in the dialogue. You know, it's like I watch half of the movies and like the dialogue completely sucks.
Someone loses themselves within the. Or, wow, you know what I mean? Like they just get
Well, I
lost
think to
in
myself, like, it's not that difficult to write a dialogue. Just speak the way you would speak.
through a
You
regular
know, it's
person.
not, right. It's not that difficult. But like they always come like what annoys me is they're always trying to get those cheesy liners.
Yeah,
like you gotta have the zingers. You gotta,
one-liners.
you know what I mean? It's all gotta be about zingers and one liner. What the fuck is this? Like Facebook? No, I want to watch a goddamn
Every
movie,
single
man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
You know what though? His lines were classic because his acting was so shitty.
I'll be
But
back.
he was like, "I'll let him go." You know what happened? I'll let him go.
That accent worked a lot for him too.
Yeah,
that accent did a lot for him because he was just too big for the screen. Because it was
he was the man, dude. Back in the 80s, 90s, man, he was the man. Even though he couldn't act worth shit, but
I think you truly made it if there's like a bunch of people who tried to do impressions of you.
Well, here's the interesting thing about Schwarzenegger, though, right? His father was a member of the SS.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So his dad was an SS officer. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Odessa.
I heard of that before.
Okay, well, Odessa is a city like in one of the Russian states.
Okay,
Georgia or one. Don't quote me on it, but I don't remember offhand which one. But it was like a big thing during World War II and everything. You know, it had camps and shit. You know, but anyway, so Odessa is a German acronym for like former members of the SS. I forget exactly how it works out. So in fact, there's a book called the Odessa File, which is really interesting.
Who's the author?
I don't remember. I read the book like 10, 12 years ago, whatever. So, but just look it up. I mean, there was even a movie made with, what's his name's, Vince Vaughn.
Well, I'm not too fond of I'm not too fond.
You don't like Vince Vaughn?
I mean, he's all right, but I mean,
he's a cheesy actor.
He's
but
very,
he's not the greatest acting.
Denzel Washington.
Like you watch Ray Donovan.
No.
That's a good show, man. Ray Donovan's a good show, but he's on there, you know. So it's like, you know, he's a hokey actor. But anyway, so he just happened to be, he was like the lead character in that movie. But so the Odessa basically was created to smuggle out former SS officers when the world was basically coming to an end. And they were smuggled out via the Vatican. And then from there, they went to Syria, Egypt, and Argentina.
Vatican had their hands in that?
Oh, Vatican has their hands in everything, dude. You don't last thousands of years without having your hands in something.
A little bit of everything.
You know what I mean? They don't have the power now that they had back in the day, but, you know, that's because, thankfully, a lot of people are losing their religion.
Yeah.
You know?
Religion is being phased out.
And I like that. You know?
Do you like that?
I do like that, yes.
I think that
if people want to be spiritual, I'm cool with that, but these religious rules are idiotic.
Well,
they're not going to make any sense.
Religion,
you know?
Modern day religion it's just a form of control.
It's always been a form of control. It's always, that's what it always was
population
about.
Control.
Not just population control, but for taxation, for everything else. You know what I mean?
Control.
That's all it was. It was just control.
Scare tactics. You know, it's kind of like scare straight. Oh, you better do this or you're going to hell.
Do you know how in Catholicism and Christianity you have purgatory?
Yeah.
Which is like between heaven and hell where you get judged. Do you know how that came about?
Oh.
I love the story.
Lost.
No, yeah, right.
Sorry.
No, what happened is during the what do you call it? The wars in Israel, or former Palestine, whatever, between the Christians and the Muslims back in the Christian Crusades.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm looking for. Jesus Christ. Huh? During the Crusades.
This is an educational show.
It is. Well, sometimes it is.
That's our slogan.
During the Crusades, the Vatican, you know, let's face it, what was it? It was a war between Christianity and Islam.
Still is.
Yeah, but I mean, it was the big guys at the top of Islam against the Vatican.
Right.
And ask yourself, how come neither Vatican City nor Mecca ever get bombed? They never get struck. If you want to hit the heart of something, right? Like during World War II, everybody was rushing from fucking Berlin.
Yes.
You know? America, you know, they were trying to destroy DC. Russia, they're attacking Moscow.
It would end it.
Right.
And you can't.
There's no profit in it.
Exactly.
So
that's why you just keep a war going for thousands of years.
Absolutely, man. People. Absolutely. But here's the best part, right? So the Vatican kind of was losing power.
The more you have a population that hates someone else just because you say you hate them, the more you can.
Well, you brainwash them from when they're kids.
All the way up.
So, yeah. So, but here's the thing, okay? So most of the wars were basically between Eastern Europeans, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, whatever they were during those times, and the closer Muslim nations of like, you know, Persia and places like that. They were the ones really warring because they're neighbors. It's going to happen. But the Catholic Church couldn't get people from England, Ireland, Scotland, France. You know, they're so far away. It's kind of like people here in America. Most people are like, you know, fuck the Middle East. It's got nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? So they're trying to drum up people to hate Muslims enough so they can get enough people over there to fight their battles. So it was the same exact thing. The Vatican was like, they couldn't get people from Western, Northwestern Europe because they were too far away from this shit. So they didn't have, they were just worried about, you know, harvesting their grain and shit. Right. And, you know, paying their taxes to their local king and shit, not fighting a war like people far away and shit, you know?
I just realized that we've become an Oreo right now.
Nice.
We are an Oreo.
It's kind of a reverse Oreo.
Yeah.
And
It's like Mr. T's Mohawk.
That's what those are called.
It's called Oreos.
Oreo? Oreo.
That's really weird to say.
Yeah.
Oreo, because it's like
You want to say spaghetti?
You have to cut off the.
So that's what, the Vatican sat down, all the bishops got together and they were like, okay, we need a reason. We need a way to get people over there. Because people in the West were saying, in Western Europe, were like, why the fuck should I go like 5,000 miles from my home and kill some people and then go to hell? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's like, if killing's wrong, I'm certainly not going to go and kill people who have nothing to do with me.
And never,
Right. So this is what I love. The Vatican gets together, all the bishops sit down, blah, blah, blah. They come up with this thing. Well, look, okay, killing Muslims is okay by God. So what's going to happen is you go there, you kill a bunch of Muslims, you can kill as many as you want. It doesn't count against you. But when you die, you will end up going to this place called purgatory, and you will be judged on your daily sins. But don't worry about killing Muslims, because that's cool.
Oh, okay.
That's totally cool. So that's how it came about.
That's how, and they, do some of them people still believe that?
Oh, of course they believe that. I just saw a reverend, a friend of mine posted a video on Facebook, this reverend just going off on like relation, or what do I look for? Interracial
relationship.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna marry any white woman who wants to marry a black man, or any of you white boys out there get that jungle fever. I ain't marrying you guys. You can go somewhere else. I don't need that, because I'm not gonna sin against God.
Right.
I'm like, whoa.
Why is he on your friends list?
Huh? Well, I mean, you can say and do anything you want and justify it with religion. You know what I mean? Because religions are pretty racist. Way back in the day, they were very racist, very separatist, very, let's separate.
Was heavy in
absolutely, man,
yeah.
absolutely. So, I mean, that was one of the reasons why Martin Luther went up against the church, and that's how Lutheranism came about. I love that dude. I mean, there are certain people in religions every now and then who come up and are badass. And Martin Luther was definitely one of them.
Yeah, it was iconic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was in a time when the Catholic Church had owned all of Europe, and parts of North Africa and parts of Asia, and the Americas. They had all this money coming in.
I like Martin Luther King, because he actually went out and did shit. He's not like
the
current feminist.
So did Martin Luther. That's what I'm saying. This guy actually.
Martin Luther. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this guy actually nailed
Martin Luther King. Yeah.
He nailed a list of all the things that's wrong with the Catholic Church on his church door. For everyone to see. Yeah. I mean, he challenged those fuckers. He went up against them. And for that, I have respect.
Yeah.
Anyone who's willing to point out the bullshit, because no matter what you create, sooner or later, it just becomes a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Whether you can start like the coolest little spiritual thing somewhere in your basement, and once it starts growing and it gets enough members and money starts getting involved, and that's where shit always gets fucked up.
It's all over.
Yep.
You're done.
Yeah.
Are there any like movies about the origin of Lutheranism?
Probably,
I thought there was.
Probably.
I want to say I saw one.
If not, let's make one.
Yeah.
not Martin Luther Kingism. That's a totally.
Yeah, that's different.
That was a.
But that was cool what he did too. So.
Yeah.
Although
like
he and Malcolm X, man, they completely clashed.
Ideology-wise,
completely different.
He believed in violence.
Right. Well, he was like Gandhi, basically the same thing as Gandhi.
He believed.
Malcolm X is like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Malcolm
X believed in,
what was the one thing
on me, I'm gonna put my hands on you.
Right. What was one of the things he said is, I love this quote. Let me see if I can even remember how it goes. I actually used it in one of my songs, but it is wrong to teach a man or to like perpetrate violence on a man and then expect him not to fight back, or teach him not to fight back.
Pretty much.
Because that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
So they were teaching him, you just take the shit.
Just take
and
it.
Then you got, the reverend lapdogs of the government, basically. And a lot of them are. Even to this day, they are.
Yeah.
A lot of them, absolutely, lapdogs. But, who would go into the black communities and preach, turn the other cheek and love one another. And, that's how you oppress motherfuckers.
That's just how you do it. You want to do it, you say that.
That's how you
say
do
those
it.
words. If I come in your house with a baseball bat and start beating
turn
on
the other
your daughter,
cheek.
just turn the other cheek.
God will love you more.
It's like, you're going to heaven.
Yeah, right. In about 10 minutes.
Because you're next.
Yeah, no, I always love like the rules of oppression and shit like that. And I've always argued like Christianity as a religion, I think it's clearly it's one of the more peaceful religions.
Yeah,
Christians aren't peaceful, and many are, but I want to say that especially now with all this shit going on in the Middle East,
Yeah.
it's like these Christians have a hard on for fucking dropping bombs and just wiping everybody out.
Yeah.
And I'm going, because that's what Jesus would do.
Yep.
You know,
WWJD.
that's what he did.
It.
But here's the thing, though. The thing about Christianity is it would only truly work is if everybody on the planet buys into it. I think it's a fantastic idea.
At one time, they were a lot of people were buying into Christianity.
Not the entire world.
No,
most people never knew about it. You know, but the thing is, like, it's either all or nothing. You can't be like partially Christian.
Well,
you know what I mean?
99.9% of I know the Western world, they go to church on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
Sure.
Then they come out and smoke weed.
I mean, there's also the thousands and thousands of different interpretations of Christianity.
Well, that's what every religion does.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no religion that doesn't have like 50 interpretations.
Exactly. All the way from your basic.
Well, it's because people like Martin Luther come along and say, "Fuck
actually,
that."
You know what?
I
I don't agree with that necessarily. I think if everybody had the same religion, no matter what it was, there'd still be a
conflict. Of course,
there'd be just.
What I'm saying is that don't go to a building and
people
act like your shit
excuses.
doesn't stink, and then come out and forget what you were just
right.
preaching in the building.
But
take
that's
a radical
nature, man. They're all hypocrites.
Take
man.
a radical Muslim.
Yeah.
They go to their mosque and they say death to America,
right.
and they come out and it's still death to America.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got your Christian, your modern day Wilkinsburg going to the church Christian. He or she will go to church on Sunday, and that night, and the pastor's like, well, we don't smoke weed, it's bad, and we don't
kill each other.
That night, he's smoking weed with his buddies, involved in a drive-by with a 40, right. And he's on the news. You're like, wow, and then I love how they talk him up like he was such a good guy.
Yeah. That's always my favorite.
Yeah,
he was a good guy. It's like the serial killers. They're always the quiet ones. He was so quiet and good. He kept
and loving. You're like, no,
he was boiling people in a barrel around back.
Like, wow, that kills me. So,
Yeah, but it's human nature, I think, to be hypocrites, and that's why I say it's hard, because Christianity, I believe, is a fantastic idea, but it doesn't work because it teaches you to turn the other cheek. It teaches you to love your neighbor. It teaches you to just be a kind, good person. And when you have certain religions, like in Islam, which was created by a 7th century warrior. And most people don't understand how that came about.
I read Islam has something to do with the Catholic Church too.
Well, somehow everything has to do with Catholic Church.
I heard it was a branch of the Catholic Church that started somehow.
Well, not the Catholic Church, but it all goes back to Judaism. Yeah. Because it's all the Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They all kind of come from the same thing. But here's the thing. Here's why Islam was so different and much more radical, because you have to look at the map and see where they're located in the world map. Okay, they were being pressured by Christianity from the West, and from the East you had the Buddhists and the Hindus pushing their shit.
So crazy.
They're getting hit from both sides, And granted, Hindu and Buddhism, they're all a lot like Christianity. They teach peace, love, happiness, all that stuff. But but humanity gets involved, right? So now you have like this large population of Persia and all the other places in the Middle East, and they're stuck between Christianity and Hindu and Buddhism and shit, pushing their shit on them.
Buddhism,
whatever you want to call it.
I can get into
I like Buddhism.
I can do a little Buddhism.
We should start our own religion.
Buddhism.
Right.
Hell yeah.
But then you think that if you start a religion and you're in the middle of all this shit and you're being hit from all sides, of course it's going to preach more hardcore. It's just I think it's the nature of the beast of where they were located.
Right.
So, and I have a bunch of Muslim friends and they're all cool as shit.
Yeah.
But in fact, I was hanging out with a group of guys in LA, like 5 or 6 of them. They were like the hardcore Muslims. They wouldn't even take their shirt off in the pool. They all had the beards and all that shit. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you would have looked at these guys, you would have thought that they're like a sleeper cell.
Oh yeah,
for sure, man. You would have thought these guys look like a sleeper cell.
Yeah.
If I've ever seen a sleeper cell,
it's these guys.
But I ended up hanging out with them. They were cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they just had their own beliefs.
I don't give a shit what somebody believes as long as they're not harming somebody else. Right. That's the whole thing. Like, you want to believe in fairy gods and imaginary this or that, that's fine.
Yeah.
I personally don't, but if somebody else wants to, as long as like Carlin says, keep dying God to dying self.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
I personally believe
I love
in a
George
higher
Carlin.
power. I'm not.
Well, I didn't say there isn't a possibility of a higher power. I'm talking about God, the way people
the way a
label
man has
God.
written
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that's bullshit. When
Anything
I open
man
up
touches is tainted.
No, I agree.
So
if it's not immediately, like I said, as soon as money starts coming in, as soon as it grows,
done.
Because like I love how people are like, oh my God, that's it's a pagan thing. I'm like, look, every single religion was a pagan religion at one time.
Pretty much.
It started out with some dude in the basement or
Pretty
a cave
much,
or wherever the hell.
Wherever he was.
So it was pagan at one time,
Yeah.
and then once you got enough members, now you're a religion.
Exactly.
It's a membership size is the only thing.
Well, we got to start Buddhism.
Buddhism. I'm a fan of Buddhism.
I'm a fan of Buddhism.
Who
All
isn't?
I think you should honk your horn if you're a fan of it.
Buddhism.
Once we start the Facebook page and get like 100 likes, then that's an official religion.
Buddhism.
We'll be tax
100
exempt.
likes. That's all it takes.
We'll be tax exempt.
It's tax free.
Well, that's like
I'm just gonna call my house a temple, so
Yeah.
you don't have to pay taxes.
the basement. Set up a couple beds and we do what we do, and it's tax.
Well, what are we gonna have a big booty on a chain? Is that the thing?
No,
for
I
all
guess
the
it would
food
be
we
like
get.
like a single tattoo on the back of your ear, so
Like a nice booty,
or iced out
like the
booty.
shape of the heart. You know where that came from, right?
A booty.
Heart shape, yeah.
It came.
You look at like the Valentine heart.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's
So
it's
what
a
about
woman
the
bent over
women?
forward.
So a woman don't have that luxury.
They got flat ass.
Yeah, I mean, whatever is something's bent over.
You can work on flat ass, ladies. All you gotta do is start squatting.
That's it. But
Just hit the squats in the gym. You'll be all right.
when you bend
Or
the
just eat
lady
some
over completely, they all look the same. Whether you got a fat ass or a cardboard.
Well, it comes down to personal
Cardboard.
preference.
I mean, I personally don't prefer cardboard booties, but if that's someone else's.
Why'd
preference.
you,
I like
why'd
it
you point
fit.
at me when he said that?
I mean, I'm not saying if you
Because he got a cardboard ass. That's why.
So I'm trying to get away from it.
Do squats, dude.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm trying
Hit
to
the
find the
squats in
yin
the gym.
yang to my cardboard ass.
All right. So
Equal balance.
So as I started talking about this story, actually,
that's a good gesture for that.
I feel like you're talking titties there.
That looks like
Well, it could be if he's like doing this.
She's 9 feet tall, yeah. And I'm in my wheelchair. Yeah, that's my where it's at. So I like this story here. A student convinces family she was on a trip around Asia despite never leaving her bedroom.
So
This is a good one.
how did that even? Well,
here's how it happened. Okay,
The beauty of Photoshop.
after waving goodbye to her family at the airport, Zilla Vandenborn. I feel like she has a nice ass with that name.
She does.
20.
Russian? Is she Russian?
No. That would be like Sweden.
Sweden. It's still gonna
She's
get it.
tall, blonde, more likely.
Yeah,
you know?
she still can get it.
Yeah, 25, and
She
she's
could be
25.
totally different.
And she's
than
25.
anything we think
What's her
of.
name?
Zilla Vandenborn.
Call me Zin.
So
She's watching too.
went to extraordinary lengths to fool her friends into thinking she was traveling through Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos by mocking up photographs of exotic food and tourist attractions.
Wow, she got a lot of time on her hands.
Well, no, she actually did this for a school project.
Oh,
Yeah, for college, like a graduate project or something. It was actually pretty cool. To carry out her ruse, she had faked Skype calls to her parents under Christmas lights and a Thai umbrella, while also sending texts in the middle of the night to add to her credibility. The backpack of lies was all part of her university
Backpack of
graduation
lies.
project. Part of her university graduation project to show how social media does not always reflect reality.
that's true.
So,
That's true.
yeah, I think it was brilliant.
You know what's funny about that is I bought this wig from a store one time.
Adam and Eve.
Was it an old school way? Adam and Eve?
No.
Was it Adam and Eve? Or?
No.
Okay.
Did you get a dildo or
I
anything
don't
with
know,
it?
I don't know if it came with a package deal or was it?
It was just a thrift
No,
store.
still haven't.
It was a thrift store, but like my friends told me to get it, and I did because it was funny. But anyway, we
So,
we
was it like rock?
made an entire alter ego with this wig. We had a name and everything. We even made a Facebook page, and I started just adding a bunch of random people, and nobody asked questions.
See, that's funny.
It's really easy. I even photoshopped like I took a picture of me with the wig on, and then me like in the same kind of place, and I just photoshopped myself.
Well, people don't question it unless it's something like really crazy looking.
People
you know what I mean?
want to believe stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because
Oh, they'll
like
believe
even
anything.
even a few of my friends like they kind of figured, oh, it's just me. But then I had this picture of me with myself, like with my arm around myself, and they're like, "What the hell is that?"
But yeah, no, this girl actually, she spent 42 days spent hidden in her Amsterdam apartment with her boyfriend, the only person in the know.
They didn't
So
have kids.
can we assume that 9 months from now there's gonna be a little?
Yes, that's what I was just hitting on. Like
Right when you get your phone taken away from you.
That's right. There's gonna be a little vending booth.
You won't be able to read about it because you won't have a phone anymore.
Well, I got my laptop.
Yeah,
I'll have to carry my laptop around. I'm gonna get whatever the Galaxy 6 is by that point, or S6 or what it's gonna be. So here's another good one, right? Televangelists. Who doesn't love these idiots? This one I found. This isn't really a news story. I just came across it on Facebook and I thought it was interesting. Shocking. Televangelists not selling actual blood of Jesus.
wow.
Imagine that.
Who would fall for that?
Believe it or not, dude, people were buying this shit. You can go online and look this up. The guy's name's Woody Martin,
Wow.
right? People buy this shit using the cutting edge comedy tactics of
Why not
prank
just buy some
calling.
wine? Same thing, right?
Toronto, yeah. Toronto comedy suit Fun Times Internet was able to get televangelist prophet Woody Martin to reveal that the blood of Jesus oil that he sells on late night infomercials is not in fact the blood of Jesus
buy
at all.
this shit at night.
Yes,
People
people buy anything at night.
Oh my goodness! I thought I'm sleeping at night after about 11:30, 12.
Well, I'm not, but I'm doing shit on the internet. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, infomercials.
You're finding out interesting things for us to talk about.
Yeah. So it is. He came clean, right? So this Jesus blood of Jesus oil is. It is regular.
Why would you need to come clean?
I would have just.
You're just living a lie.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
So it is regular
Whose
olive
blood
oil,
was it,
which
though?
represents the Holy Spirit, and a special coloring to make it look. Yeah, I like it's a special color. It's food dye, asshole.
Red
Food dye, yeah. The red, thus we call it the blood of Jesus anointing oil. There's no virtue or healing in this oil. It is a point of fact and an act of faith. So they're selling an act of faith. That's what. By the way, just for people to know, this Woody Martin guy, he was busted having sex with an underage girl back in the 80s. So,
wow.
You know, I'm not sure if he found Jesus before or after.
Probably after. Man,
like everybody in prison.
Yeah, every time you go to jail, there's everybody.
You come out either Muslim or Christian or
Aryan Nation or GD.
Yeah, you're annoying, basically. That's what it is.
That's it.
Like I don't mind people who are brought up with that shit, but the most annoying people are to me are the ones who find Jesus, and then you gotta come out and tell you about him.
That's most people that go to jail. You better find something, or something's gonna find you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So
I did that, but leave that shit back there. Like I was a Catholic, I was a freaking altar boy when I was a kid. Man, I went through that nonsense.
Yeah.
Once they figure out how to cover that stuff up better, they've suddenly found Jesus.
Oh yeah. So then there's this guy, right? Unfortunately named man arrested on suspicion of public lewdness.
Unfortunately named.
Yeah, I like this. A 56-year-old man named Calvin E. Wank. Wank.
Was that the title of the article? Unfortunately,
yeah, that was. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
So, 56-year-old man named Calvin E. Wank has been arrested in New York on suspicion of public lewdness. New York State Police said the man was arrested after officers responded to a suspicious person report at the truck stop in Kirkwood, New York, wherever that is. It is alleged he committed sexually lewd acts while in the parking lot and in a field next to the truck stop. The forces said, yeah. So he was issued a ticket in order to appear in court next month.
Sexually lewd acts.
Yeah. So
who's watching though? Who
would somebody
in his car.
But people do weird shit, man. Like there was one, I read one story just a couple years ago where a guy was fucking a pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. So of all people,
did he pay for it?
No, but a lady police officer of all things busted him. Like how embarrassing! It was not embarrassing enough that anyone bust you fucking a pumpkin.
I mean, a pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Why not? He should have just baked the pie.
Well, apparently it felt good. I don't know.
I guess it was.
I've never fucked a pumpkin, but maybe we'll do that for the next show.
Yeah, we should all just
let's fuck a pumpkin.
Halloween, we should just fuck pumpkins.
Fuck a pumpkin.
I mean, there's plenty of them sitting out.
Yeah, there are. And already mouth cut out.
Yeah, the mouth's cut out. I know if I catch you on my porch fucking my pumpkins. The last pumpkin you fuck.
Pumpkin fucker. But you want to go through life being known as a pumpkin fucker?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, is that better than
that's
sheep?
Not.
Which one's worse, fucking a pumpkin or sheep?
Sheep. I would rather get caught fucking a sheep.
But a sheep's alive.
It's alive. It's breathing. A pumpkin's like you're a sick individual. Yeah. I guess because the pumpkin's dead and it has no feeling, that it makes it better. Because a sheep, it could have been going through it. It could have had an emotional day. It could have had a hard day. It might not be ready. You know how you have your significant other and you go to bed and you try to get a little something. And she's like, no, I had a hard day. So the sheep could.
I gotta go out to the barn.
Yeah, I gotta go out.
The wife's not kicking it up. The sheep stand under your willow like, bang.
Sheep need to consent. What's the age law for sheep consent?
In Europe, they actually, I don't remember exactly when, but they actually had trials in France
Sheep
for
fuckers?
well, not just sheep, but animals. You were actually legally,
Bestiality.
you were able to legally marry your animal.
That's disgusting.
It was a court of law was set up for it and everything.
Wow, that's the nasty.
Well, it's how, like, it's funny because I tell everybody, look, all the shit we think is cool and legal now, like 1,000 years from now, people are gonna be laughing at our ass.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
less than that. Like
Yeah.
in a couple of generations, they're gonna be
Yeah.
laughing at our ass.
Pretty much.
You know, like those dumbasses.
Well, I mean, we're laughing at like segregation and stuff.
Right.
And that happened within some people's lifetimes.
Yeah.
That was pretty much my lifetime. I mean, 68. I was born in 68.
You
So.
get laughed at for wearing
It's like,
bell
yeah.
bottoms right now.
Yeah, but they keep coming back.
Every time repeats itself.
Yeah, but they keep coming back.
They keep
Maybe
coming.
racism will come in.
No, I doubt that.
Not on this show.
No.
We are now
I'm
diverse.
Yeah, you're just diverse now. Well, that's good to
In
hear.
fact,
Yeah.
we got one light-colored microphone and two dark ones.
I think you're deep down racist.
Yeah, he notices all this.
For a colorblind guy, you're the racist.
That's
person.
true. He is colorblind. Yeah, for real.
Everybody's
I've never seen-
racist.
Everyone's got some,
Actually, everybody
I take
is
note.
racist.
Everybody
That's
is
true.
racist.
Everybody is to a certain degree, but
well, I
but
don't-
some
To a
people
certain
are
degree.
extreme about
they're,
it. You know what I
they're
mean?
radical racists. I don't like squirrels.
What?
Squirrels.
That is
Like
a
the
different
creatures?
That is a different race.
That's not race. That's
So
not,
we
that's-
know that he will never fuck a
I
squirrel,
won't be a squirrel fucker. I'll tell you that.
or you
Sheep
fuck
are
one
fine.
just to show the man.
Just to show who's
Sheep
the
are
man.
fine because they literally have cushion for the pushing. Sheep,
They do, yeah, man. They're like built just right. If only they
That's
were a little
nasty.
bigger.
they're built for bestiality.
Wow. There is a site for,
It's
for
a
those.
sheep, pig, or squirrel.
This
Yeah.
conversation took a totally different direction
Yeah,
than I
straight to
thought
the
it would.
left.
Hey, speaking of lewd acts, a Virgin
Do we
American
have to
flight.
continue with
A
this?
Virgin American flight was diverted because a man was going to town on himself masturbating.
Going to town on
Wow.
himself.
Yeah.
They use that in the headline?
Yeah, that's what they used in the headline.
I love these
It's beautiful.
headlines.
I-
Where do
you
you
know
get
what? All these-
what websites
You
do
can
look at?
actually, if you want to type in AttilaDomos.com, you know, my website in there.
Okay.
And when people go to the ABC show link there, it's going to be on there. I put all the articles and shit and the links where I got the stories from. They're going to be there, so they can check it out. Anyway, a Virgin American flight from Boston to Los Angeles was diverted to Omaha.
Mm.
Bad enough they had to land in Omaha.
This is
you know,
embarrassing for this to even make the news.
because a man was masturbating furiously. Yeah, he wasn't just
Oh,
masturbating.
shit.
This guy was like, when they said going to town, yeah, he was probably growling, doing all that shit.
on
Yelling out
the, on
chicks'
the
names.
plane.
On the plane, right?
Wow.
So
Curse
yep.
his wife for that. Curse his wife.
So and then to make matters worse, the flapping man, apparently he was even flapping,
Mm.
tried to open the exit door, presumably with his hands.
Mm.
So he's jerking it with one hand and trying to open the exit door with the other hand.
So he can bust out on the tarmac? Or
Yeah, I
what?
guess he didn't think it through that he and everybody else near there would have been sucked out.
Oh, this was a flying plane.
Yeah.
Why'd he
right.
go in the bathroom?
Good question.
Wow, that's just what is just when you think
There
you got
are
it
other
bad.
ways, you know, the 1 Mile High Club or whatever it is. The
Yeah,
Mile
the
High
Mile
Club.
High Club. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's the
could join it
extreme
with
version.
himself. By myself.
I'm
One
sure
Mile
he
High
could pay
Club.
the stewardess, something to join the Mile High Club.
So he
I heard
at the
stewardesses make a lot of money.
They do make a lot of money.
he at that point was fidgeting and began to remove the plastic covering from the emergency exit door
Mm.
and tried to pull to open the door.
Mm-mm.
Slater said. I guess Slater was the guy interviewed. Fortunately, there were a couple of Boston police officers on the flight that were able to, basically get him
I
to chill out.
wouldn't like what. That's a weird situation
That's a
because you don't want to touch that.
He got
guy.
his joint in his one hand and he got his hand on the
Stop! I'll shoot.
other. Don't move. Like he got everybody stuck up. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather get shot with a semen.
Yeah, so the FAA called the disturbance a medical emergency.
It was the medical.
That's actually not the first time
In the
the
head.
word semen has been uttered on this show.
No, remember last week we were talking about the guy who jacked it off into his coworker's coffee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got good stories.
I'm
here.
talking about earlier today when we were talking about how low you ride to the ground on that hand cycle.
Oh, yeah. Well, he
and all
threw
the
in the
stuff
semen
that,
comment.
yeah.
What hand cycle?
It's what I race in the hand cycle.
Oh,
You ever see a hand cycle?
I've seen it. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I'm
real
saying.
low. Yeah, you're riding like this,
Now,
but
do you
you're like
pedal? You
down.
pedal with your arms.
No,
in
just
front
all
of
the
you.
upper body.
Do you ride
Yeah.
them? Don't they have an event that goes around the city like once a year?
Well, I
or
just did the
something?
great race. That's what
Oh
this is
yeah,
for.
that's where you're.
That's what this is for.
Yeah, if you
That's
look
what I'm
right-
talking about.
if you look right
Yeah.
behind you.
Oh,
And
okay.
actually, those trophies were all powerlifting trophies back there from my powerlifting days.
Oh, for real?
And well, the middle one actually, I did the see the ribbon hanging off the big trophy. That's from the Ohio, the Cleveland marathon. I did in a push rim chair. I despise push rim. I will never do it again.
Why?
It's uncomfortable. I'm not built for it. Like if you want to, push rim is the one where you're like pushing like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's the long chairs. You see dudes all bent over. They have to be because as soon as you sit up, it falls back.
And how long you have to stay in that position?
Until you finish the race. So
And
you're
how
doing
long
26.2 miles. So,
Oh hell no.
you know, it's uncomfortable as hell. It's good if you're skinny and have long arms.
Yeah.
It's good, but I'm not built like that. I'm built more for power, like for hand cycling. So I love hand cycling.
So I would be good in one of those.
You probably would be, but
You wouldn't be.
maybe. I tell you what, it's very uncomfortable because the way you sit in those things, you're sitting like in a little bucket, right? Basically, and your butt's on your heel and your chest is on your knee. So you're hunched over in that position for an hour, 2 hours, however long it takes you to finish the race. So
yeah, that would suck.
Man,
I mean, you can't.
With 10 miles to go, I got a flat. I'm going downhill in Cleveland. I'm going, why am I slowing down?
If you're against guys like single amputees and stuff, they can use their legs to push off. That they can't do that when they're in that thing.
No, not in that thing. You can't. On the hand cycle, you
so
can't.
So it's more even.
Well, what we call it?
Technically.
It is, and it is, and it isn't because it depends on how you're built. The longer your arms, the more they can stay on the rim. You know. So my friend Ian, for example, he is like skinny as hell. And he's great at it. It's so funny. The first time I went out with the push rim, I got him behind him, and he's like, "Okay, just follow me. You know, just stay behind me." And the way you ride those things is you have gloves, and they folds over like this, and you're actually punching the tire with your hand. You know, so you're not grabbing and pushing with the rim. You're catching the inside of the rim and you're pushing with the glove.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
is that called rimming when you do that?
Yeah, I guess rim job, whatever. But so I get in behind Ian and you know, he's like, okay, now just follow behind me, and I'm right behind him, you know. He's like, all right, I'm gonna speed up now. I said, yeah, go ahead. Dude, he was gone. It was like a Ferrari, just like within you count to 20, I couldn't see him anymore. He was gone. He was that fast. But like I said, he's built for it. He's been doing that for like 10, 12 years.
But you could beat him on a hand cycle?
Oh yeah, I crush him on a hand cycle. I mean, he has a higher level of injury. You know, he is I want to say he was like around mid chest, somewhere around there. He's technically like a low level quad, you know. But the thing with the push rim is that it's technique. It comes down to technique. Once you get good technique going, then you're good to go. And that's how he races. That's what he does. But I think even he switched over to the hand cycle now. It's like nobody really likes those things, man. It's
just uncomfortable.
Oh, it's incredibly uncomfortable. I came home like the day after the Cleveland Marathon. Like I said, I had to finish the last 10 miles with a flat, and I had glue on tires, so that was kind of cool because it didn't come off. Okay. But my God, man, my ribs were black and blue and green and yellow, and it was all beat up because you're sitting, like I said, you're sitting in this bucket, and it's got like a metal railing around it, and every pothole you hit is like kidney punch, you know, ribs. So I got up next day and I'm like, ow. I hit lots of potholes in Cleveland, man.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Alabama got a lot of potholes on their interstate.
Alabama?
Oh, Alabama's
on the interstate.
On the interstate.
Oh,
that is unusual.
Yeah, I got that.
Because Ohio's interstate is great. That's why I like to race, man. I love like smooth asphalt. When it's first laid down,
the interstate. I was coming from Louisiana, and we went through about 5 states to get back to Pennsylvania. It was last in January when we had that bad winter.
Yes,
it was freezing down Louisiana. It was like 29 degrees.
Yeah, that was a crazy winter. This past winter was crazy, man. It just wouldn't end.
Yeah,
I got out of the hospital.
Sympathy on that because I came from Iowa, like 4 or 5 months ago, and it got down to like -11.
Yeah, but how long were you there? Were you guys living there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you came from California and stopped there and then came down.
No, my sister lives there.
The show got all serious and shit.
Yeah, it got real serious.
All of a sudden, I feel like a heavy, serious vibe, man. What's going on here?
More stories about like guys jerking off in public. Or
yes. Oh no, actually, this
gotta find a story about like a girl caught doing that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be.
Well, like I was saying before, though, it's easy for girls. It's easy because guys like your shit grows.
Yeah.
So and you gotta be like back and forth and shit. You know,
they got girls things for girls.
I mean, unless the girl's like walking and all of a sudden she
it.
just slips.
They got like vibrators. They just carry on them all day.
Yeah. They got those little things you can put in too in your underwear.
Yeah, that's what I just seen. Yeah, the panties vibrator, and it's just.
I like that thing.
Yeah, they got so many toys for them women. I just,
Well, I think pretty much everything except for the fleshlight is designed for women.
Pretty much.
The thing is, the reaction would be a lot different. Nobody would care.
Nah, that's the thing. Well, if she's hot.
It's like a woman was.
Yeah.
She's got to be hot.
That's true.
If she's hot women can get away with
anything.
They can do whatever they want.
They'll take everything. Everything.
they can do anything. It's like, oh, okay, all right, that's
fine. You can take my car. I don't care.
Was she hot? Yeah, all right, that's cool. Yeah, we understand.
I just got carjacked By who? By a girl?
By 3 naked women, and they were hot.
They were hot.
They were supermodels.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay. But I'm not pressing charges.
Yeah,
It's all good.
I'll get it back.
I'll work, get another car.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It was worth it.
It was worth
It was worth it.
They held me
They
up.
wrestled me with their
with
boobies.
their chest. Yeah. Yep. They held me up at tip point.
So then this story, actually, we were talking about Virgin Airlines before, right on cue here.
Not Virgin Airline anymore.
No.
Ah.
So why Richard Branson allows employees to take unlimited holiday leave? I love this billionaire more and more every time I
He's
read
a
about
cool
Richard Branson.
guy.
If I were a billionaire, that's the guy I'd be.
Yeah, he's pretty
We
cool.
were talking about Elon Musk last week. Do you remember the other billionaire young guy who
Hmm,
started,
yeah.
PayPal and Tesla Motors and SpaceX and all this shit? He's like younger than me. He's 43.
That sounded like you said SpaceX.
I know. Every time I say it, it sounds like maybe that's why he did it.
Mm.
So anyway, Richard Branson is like Branson. Yeah.
Branson.
Richard Branson is my billionaire hero. He'd be like he's my Batman.
I wonder what it's like to have that much money. I mean, money corrupts. The absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah,
But, you know,
but it doesn't have to.
it does. It depends on the.
If you're level-headed, like George Clooney's pretty freaking level-headed. You know what I mean? You never hear about him hanging out at bars and raping women.
Right.
So,
Mm.
but his aunt was Rosemary Clooney. She was an actor from way back in the day, like the 40s and 50s. I actually sang backups for Rosemary Clooney.
Oh, for real?
Yep. I was with the Duquesne University Choir.
Is that recorded? I want to listen to that.
Look up one of her White Christmas tours. You remember the movie White Christmas that came out that had like Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and I forget who the other lady was. But it's a cool movie, man. It's like, again, it's made during World War II time, so it's one of them movies. But so anyway, so she came. She would go around, and now she was like 80 when I met her, or 70, whatever she was. It's past her like glory days.
She's
but
past the golden age.
right, yeah, basically. But she would go around the country and do the White Christmas tour, where she would sing songs from the movie and shit. And she had who was backing her up was Duquesne University that year, Westinghouse High School Choir, and one other choir. I don't remember who it was now. But anyway, so we were the choirs who backed her up on stage. And I got to say that she was really nice. I didn't hang out with her like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like this and shit. But for somebody like of her stature that, because she was the shit back in the day. Yeah, right. She was very cool. She was down to earth to talk to. She wasn't a diva, at least not in my...
right, you were around
not with me. I talked to her for maybe like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Amazing. Imagine out of all those people, I talked to her.
I couldn't imagine her talking to anybody else.
Right. But yeah, she was very cool. It's like when I met Dave Hogg. He was former Mr. USA back in the 80s, right? A big dude. And he came. I used to work out in this gym in Munhall called The Body Shop back then. And so the guys paid Dave Hogg to come in and do some motivational speaking, whatnot. So the gym's packed. I mean, it wasn't a big gym, but it was packed. So there were probably like 30, 40 people in there, and Dave's talking, and he gets done, talking about this and that. And then they're like, any questions? So I look around, nobody asked anything. I threw a question. So I'm like, not trying to hog the conversation. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. Then nobody asked another question. So I asked another question. Before you know it, it turned into a 25-minute conversation between Dave Hawk and myself.
But you weren't trying to hog the conversation.
Well, I did. I left it for other people, but nobody else would ask anything.
They were starstruck.
Whatever it was, people are like, they get shy. They don't want to, what if I ask a dumb question? I'm like, fuck it. I ask 1,000 dumb questions before I even wake up.
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't care, but it was fun, man. We had a good time. So anyway, here's what Richard Branson is doing, right? So Richard Branson is to remove limits on the amount of holiday Virgin employees can take each year in the hope that it will boost morale, creativity, and productivity.
That's what would happen.
Well, that is what happened. And here's the thing about a similar strategy introduced by the video streaming giant Netflix, reportedly in 2010 by Telegraph, which had been a marked success. Staff at Virgin will now be allowed to take time off work without prior warning, but are expected to manage this so they stay up to date with all of their work. So basically, it's like, look,
how to get in on that.
Well, but think about this, okay? I think it's brilliant because the old days of going to work in an office, punching in, you're 40 hours, you sit there and you're fucking off half the time. You end up fucking off because there's nothing else to do. You did all your work, right? So Branson's saying, all right, here's the deal. Here's how we're going to do it. You're going to get paid your salary, okay? your 40 hours or whatever your 24, 40,000, $50,000 a year salary.
Right.
But you got to get your shit done. You don't need to come into the office. We don't give a shit if you come in. As long as you get your shit done, we don't care where you get it done, how you get it done. Just get it done.
A lot of companies are taking it that route.
Google was another one.
Google was the first that I know of.
Yeah.
That started like that. I know an IT company in Pittsburgh actually. A lot of their guys.
Well, I think it's more set up for companies like that, ITs, and they can do that shit because you're not bottling Coke or whatever.
Yeah, you don't have to do like manual labor. You can actually connect to a network privately or whatever and do your work.
That's how.
I think that's brilliant. That's the way it should be.
That's how public education should work.
Isn't it like that in Europe where they got like all these? They don't work much.
Well, me being from Europe, I can tell you that it's actually much more lax. And the other thing, actually, one of the big differences in most cities in Europe, and mostly smaller cities, not necessarily like the big ones like Vienna or Paris or London necessarily, but smaller cities, they tend to shut down. They shut down from like noon to 2. And you go home, you eat lunch, at dinner actually, because there we eat dinner at noon. You guys have a lunch here, we eat dinner at noon. And then after work, you go back to work, you finish your work, and then you come home and you have a light meal.
A light meal.
Yeah, so
that's why all the women in Europe are
thin and look good, because one, GMOs are outlawed in most countries in Europe.
Oh yeah.
In fact, most recently Hungary kicked out GMO. They kicked out Monsanto
altogether.
They burned all the crops and said, take your shit and get out.
But the United States just has this thing for GMO.
Well, it's because it's a free market society here. So if you have enough money, you can basically, what that means is you can do whatever you want.
You ain't never lied about that.
That's why we're getting picks for everything here. I mean, Hungary even paid off the IMF and sent them packing. They said, thank you very much. We no longer need you to ruin our country. Because the IMF does nothing but put countries into debt. They're like, here, man, you want more money? Like a drug dealer. Yeah, you want more? All right, you want more? Yeah. All right. And now when you can't pay it back.
He's taking your TV.
Yeah, he's taking whatever he wants. He's like, you know what? We'll forgive that debt, but we're going to need you to do this for us. And it ain't never nothing easy. Like, go give me a gallon of milk or something.
It's never nothing easy. Yeah.
It's like you got to kill somebody or you got to,
Or you got to rape that squirrel I was talking about. I want to watch.
So that's where the squirrel thing comes from.
That would really hurt that squirrel. I mean, it depends on who you are. Really.
Defamation of character.
Defamation of squirrel.
Yeah.
So that's what Sir Richard Branson's doing, and just another reason why I love this guy. Here's another great story. 15-ton prehistoric. Actually, I got this from your mom. She sent it to me. 15-ton prehistoric shark captured off the coast of Pakistan.
We're running out of time.
Oh yeah, okay. So 15-ton prehistoric shark captured. 15 ton. Yep.
That's what you're afraid of.
And it's not just a shark. It's a prehistoric shark. This thing is huge. 15 tons. Huge. Fucking thing's huge.
It's
so this is out of Karachi.
I'm trying to think of how many school buses that is.
At least one. Probably like about 4 or 5, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So this comes from Karachi.
Probably not yellow though.
Shark.
No.
A giant prehistoric shark, previously thought to be extinct for more than 20 million years, has been captured by local fishermen off the coast of Pakistan. Yeah, probably. Reported the Islamabad Herald this morning. Islamabad. Yeah. So the giant creature, first thought to be a great white shark, was rapidly declared by experts to be an unknown species of shark, as its great weight and size were unheard of. Analysis of the teeth suggested the shark to be a parent of the megalodon.
A parent?
Yes.
Wow.
So, of the megalodon, an extinct species of shark that lived approximately 28 to 1.5 million years ago during the Cenozoic era. So the sea creature that measures an incredible 10.4 meters, it's about 30 feet, and weighs an astounding 15.6 tons, is the largest living shark ever caught to date.
It wasn't living.
Well, it was living when they caught it.
Oh.
Yeah.
They got pictures of
it? They do on the website. Yeah, they do on the website. Great white sharks reaching an impressive 7 tons at full growth, a size that is no match for this giant prehistoric shark that can reach an imposing 20 meters. And that's 60 feet, dude. 20-meter shark is 60 feet.
Wow.
Think about how big that is.
I couldn't imagine it.
That's an extra point in football. 20 yards.
Oh yeah,
that's an extra point.
So if you take I seen a blue whale at the.
Well, blue whales are huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So you take 40 feet away from them, and you got a 60-foot shark.
Shark, yeah.
So I seen one just hanging at this museum in New York. I was up there, and they got like this big life-size 100-foot. So you.
That's real. Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah.
So yeah, man, and this is the reason I will not go into the Indian Ocean. When I'm doing my round world thing, I do not trust the Indian Ocean. There's so so many
It's so
great,
vast.
gigantic things in there.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that?
so
You
vast.
Yeah, like that. Like, can you imagine that? No, thank you.
You can jump in his mouth and jump out if you're quick enough. If you're quick enough.
Just wear chainmail, but then you'd sink.
If
Yeah.
he doesn't eat you, I guess you could cut your way out.
I always think about that because I will have my Wolverine claws things that I'm designing to have with me. So I'll be like,
Yeah, if you could cut your
and then you know what the great thing is?
What?
Like when you get hungry, you just eat the shit.
You just
cut.
eat, yeah, you just take a bit.
Oh, I'm running low on protein.
Just take a bite.
You'd eat raw shark or megalodon.
Kinda
Well,
tough.
if you're starving, man,
No,
you'll
you can
eat.
eat
I mean,
anything.
people eat humans and shit if they're starving.
You ain't never lied.
The Donner Party.
Not even them. I'm talking about like the what was that? The Australian football team or the which one was it?
The ones that got
Back in the
stuck
day.
on the mountain.
Yeah, down in the Andes.
Yeah,
I
they
prefer the Donner Party. That's my favorite cannibal
were
story.
chewing up each
It's the
other.
Donner Party. Yeah, well, they're more sick in the head because
Well,
they were doing it for
We've
pleasure and
actually,
shit.
I've actually passed
They were doing it
by
for
that
pleasure.
place,
The Donner, yeah.
where that happens. Come back from
Did you get
California
hungry or was it like
on that route.
overwhelming?
But you know what's funny? I've actually
You get
had
it.
to-
You actually get a little feeling in your stomach
Of hunger?
you want to taste human flesh.
well, here's the
it's
thing.
just the essence in the air.
Here's the interesting thing.
Spirits.
I've had to have my flesh, what do you call it, cauterized before because of surgeries and all the shit I went through.
Did it smell good?
It
Like barbecue?
does amazingly. It smells delicious.
I couldn't eat a human. I mean,
Well, I don't think I could either, but you
Well,
know,
if they can
if
sift
there's
it,
nothing
if they're
else to
like-
eat, if you're like on a stranded island, there's absolutely nothing else, just rocks and a tree.
Now I must
You know,
say,
once you eat all the leaves off the tree and any greenage that's on the ground,
you can never
Humans
say
next.
never because
Right.
you never know what you're gonna do under pressure.
I wouldn't even know it's green because I'm colorblind.
that's true.
You won't know that the human's bleeding because it looks like
You won't know
water.
what color person you're eating.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. I would say you never know that
You don't.
what you I like to eat at Chinese restaurants and
Me too.
there was a story about a year ago where
Uh-huh.
the Chinese restaurant, I won't say their name.
Oh, please do.
No, yeah, say it.
Let's just say I forget the name.
No,
And
you can say it.
they were caught dragging a deer through the back door.
I saw that story. I saw that.
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't know.
What's
I
the
don't remember.
restaurant
I don't remember who it was.
You
I
don't know what you're really eating when,
Yeah.
when you know. I watch Bizarre Foods America and things like that, and
Well, rats, raccoons, you know.
rats, raccoons,
Whatever.
dead bodies from the crematorium. I mean, you just don't know when you eat like exotic foods like that.
Well, here's one for
Crematorium.
you, right? Okay, so Sushi Lover, I'm sure you guys have seen this on Facebook. It's been going around. But Sushi Lover's entire body left riddled with worms after eating contaminated some sashimi.
That's why
Sashimi?
Sashimi.
I don't eat
Okay.
sushi.
You know what? I love sushi.
I love
and I've read this
sushi.
story and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm not touching it again. A
It's raw
Chinese man.
fish.
Yeah, you're right. But
you ever,
I knew
filleted
that.
cod before?
Yeah. No, I haven't myself.
Full of
but
worms.
Yeah.
Full of worms.
Yeah, but you don't expect that at a restaurant. That's the thing. You know what I mean?
You expect them to do their job.
If it's done right, yeah. But I also find it interesting though that the man was Chinese. It was a Chinese man, right, who was eating sushi in Japan.
So he's fond of it. He knows his.
Well, the
sushi.
thing is though, the Chinese and the Japanese don't exactly get along.
Oh, he was Chinese.
You know what I mean?
So
The man was
maybe-
Chinese, and this tapeworm shit happened to him in Japan. So
So, like I said earlier,
I wonder if
it's
there's
almost
more to this
Japanese
story.
dirty
You know,
neighborhood.
yeah, they probably purposely fed him a piece.
give him the fucking dirty shit.
Yeah.
But that would be awful, man. He got tapeworms. You can see the X-rays, and it's literally his entire body. He said he was feeling itchy, and like his head was very itchy and everything. Like he was just, that was his thing, and that's why he thought something was wrong. Now it's everybody's like,
Like, it was all over his. How they get all over his body?
It's tapeworms
It's
and
worms.
shit, man. They got all over it. I mean,
Tapeworm. What
it's
do you
like bacteria, man. It just multiplies, gets everywhere.
I thought they can only go where like they're like
Wait
they're
till you see the
mad, so they
X-ray.
take up space.
Yeah,
So
I don't
how
wanna
can
look
but they're
they-
not that big.
They're not.
No, they're not that
Some
big.
of them I heard are like 23 feet or just long.
No. We're talking.
Those are
you're
like
talking about the
stomach
the shit. Yeah,
Oh, these are just
Yeah.
little worms.
these were just, dude. You got to see it, man.
He
It's
said he
just-
was itchy all over.
Yeah,
have
he said
to
he was
see it.
itchy and he was very itchy and he didn't know what was going on. That's why he went and got X-rayed. And then on the X-ray, you see all these freaking worms in there. I'm like,
Oh, man, I don't
shit,
know. I don't
man.
think I can watch that.
AttilaDomos.com, and you can look at all this shit.
Yeah, it
if
will
you
be
want
up
to.
there. It's not up there yet, but I'll have the stories up there after the show at some point. But yeah, it was absolutely gross. So I think I'm officially done with sushi. I'm never, ever again. As much as I loved sushi, I'm done with it.
So how
You're
much
just
sushi
you're
could
just
he
buying into their
possibly
scare
eat?
tactics,
I am.
just like Ebola.
Yeah, it's good. But
I don't
want to
think
eat Ebola
is
either.
a scare tactic. I think that
Ebola.
it's time for them to start putting population control in.
You got to
effect.
get the population down, like
I
we
mean,
talked.
that's just what it is. I mean,
7 billion is a lot of people, and all I know, like I said, we went in my lifetime went from 2.4 to 7. So if I live my lifetime again,
Now
that means
this
we're gonna
guy,
be at
he
21.
just came over here from Liberia.
Liberia, yeah.
Now it takes.
But this has been an issue in West Africa. And you know what I want to say though, not just the U.S. government, but Russian governments and Israeli and other governments around the world, they do a lot of funny business in Africa.
Oh yeah.
Like they won't allow Africa its own economy because if they do, they lose their oil, gold, everything else, diamonds,
their
and
guinea
everything
pigs.
else. Right.
Because Bill Gates got a foundation over there where he does these tests on these people over
with
there.
the vaccines. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
and it ain't just him, but I mean, like I said,
Other.
many other governments and shit are involved in this stuff. England's another. I never want to leave England off the map because, boy, the more you start studying world history, the more you realize just how much the world is shackled to England.
Shout out to England.
Good job, England. Look, England is so good that on the day where Scotland could have declared its independence and freedom from England, they chose to stick with England. So
that was a smart decision.
I think England.
No way, man. Scotland has a lot of money. I mean, that's where all the Masons are and shit.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah.
You've never seen England.
Wherever the Masons are, that's where you're safe.
That's where, that's where you're safe.
Yeah.
Once they start doing that population control, that's where I'm fucking moving.
England.
Northern Europe, Iceland, places like Iceland are bomb.
Well, I figure they're going to start with like places like China and India first, killing all those people.
Well, it doesn't take much. In one touch, it's kind of like that movie with Denzel back in the day with The Fallen or something, where that guy was just walking around touching each other, just moved from.
I didn't see that one.
Fallen.
And we're going to end here because we're way overdue now.
Yeah.
But I do want to say,
like a minute
that
late,
this is I get into these conversations with people all the time because the whole evolution adaptation debates and this and that. And I need somebody to explain to me that how come if we all come from this Eve from
mitochondrial
Lucy, right. Lucy, right?
Can I say something before you say that?
No, go ahead.
There is no scientific now. If you look through the slabs of Earth all the way up, even after the Great Flood, you see
which Great Flood? There were many.
The biblical Great Flood.
But I mean, even that was way later. I mean, the story of Noah comes from Babylon. Originally,
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But if you look, there's tons of skeletal remains of different variations of a certain creature. Now they have never found a monkey man-looking skeleton.
Well, they haven't found the hip. It's in the hip. That's where you tell.
The hips
apes are quadrupedal, meaning they walk on fours. And humans are bipedal.
They're knuckle walkers.
Well, quadrupedal. That's what it's called. That's you're basically on fours.
Okay.
And we're bipedal. So that's where the thing is that no one ever found. And I said that too. I said, it's interesting that they haven't yet found that combination, which can leave the door open to many things.
They found giant skeleton bones.
Yeah, I know. I see those.
30 foot.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, to me, okay, what I need somebody to explain to me, right? If we all started out in South Africa, right? And we went all over the place. We just sort of scattered, right? And then people adapted to their environment, right? So black people in Africa will be black because they're dealing with the harsh sun.
Right.
Same down in South America where you got the Brazilians and everybody else, they're darker skin. You go up Europe and everybody's lighter skin because they don't need that.
Exactly.
And then but the further up into Europe and if you go to Africa, humans tend to be smaller and darker. You go up to like Northern Europe, that's where you got your giants, because you need more sun, etc. and all that stuff, right? So if adaptation truly happened, then I need for somebody to explain to me how come India and China have been next to one another for like 3,000 years or longer, and they don't look anything alike. They look nothing alike, not even remotely close.
Maybe when the continents shift, they just got kind of bunched together.
Yeah, but I mean, the continents have been like that since for
Yeah,
thousands of years. You know what I mean?
I was trying to help you guys out. So
but that's my question. How come I don't see a mixture? There should be something that looks like Chinese/Indian.
You got a point. And they look,
I don't see any of it. So it is my theory, only a theory, that we all come from different apes. We may have come from different apes, and we may have been genetically engineered by whether it be aliens or whatever that may have been here at the time, which have taken certain local ape that they found, and they said, okay, DNA is close enough. We'll infuse some of our shit, and we have our slave labor.
There you go.
Right there, you got your slave labor, and then that's I think that's why, because you look at also why is it that white people are the only ones that have different color eyes, basically different color hair. You know what I mean?
And good credit.
Good.
I mean, come on.
I don't know, my credit's not that good.
With anything,
So anyway, so that's been a running theory of mine, and that's all it is. You know, I won't say that's how it is. But you know, I have theories. I don't have like beliefs. I don't have belief systems.
It's a good conversation piece.
Yeah, I think it is, and it's interesting because
we started it at the end of the show.
Yeah, but no, it's interesting that they find all these gold mines. You know, like you go up in Peru, and they've got gold mines that have been like excavated and left there 10 to 20,000 years ago. Well, if us as humans and Homo sapiens and all this have only been around for a couple of thousand years, the way that they claim,
they say,
who the hell? Yes, but I mean, we weren't mining, we weren't building pyramids 100,000 years ago. You know what I mean?
10,000 years.
Give or take, yeah. But who was mining for gold 20, 25, 30,000 years ago is what I want to know. Who was mining for the gold? If it wasn't us, and there are no such things as aliens, then who the hell was mining for that shit?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Who built half of the shit that we find? If you go off the shore of
the platypus.
The platypus. No, but if you go offshore near Okinawa, there's a gigantic pyramid-like structure down there.
Oh, yeah.
Complete with steps, and it's doorways you go through and everything. Have you seen it?
You say that was underwater?
Yeah, it's underwater.
Yeah.
Which meaning that it had to be built at least 10,000 years ago, because that was the last time Earth's water pressure was low enough for somebody to build this thing. So who built it? Right. That's what it comes down to. Who built these things? If it wasn't us, then who the hell was building these things?
You guys heard of Michael Tessarian?
No.
I don't. I want to say yes, but
I'm pretty sure I've talked to you about it.
Probably. Go ahead.
He's he does a lot of like these documentary type videos that are like 3 hours long, just talking about all kinds of stuff like that, like Atlantis,
interesting shit,
like the moon,
landings,
interesting shit like that. But
you know what they found on the moon?
What?
When they got there, supposedly there were 2 or 3 giant ships already there.
Yeah. I mean, there was a ton of gold on the moon.
Yeah.
There's a ton of, and they found 3 bodies.
Well, now you got helium-3. That's all over the damn place up there. That's why they say they want to get back there.
Anyway,
they're terrified to go back up there.
Yeah. I mean, their excuse is always like, well, the public lost interest. Well, guess what? The public doesn't give a shit about the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, but we're still going back there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can't tell me that that's why we stopped going, because the public lost interest. Public loses interest in themselves after 10 minutes.
Pretty much. My thing is, that they found something that scared the shit out of them.
Oh, absolutely. I tend to agree with that.
There's something up there and they photoshopped it. That's just my theory.
There's the hollow moon, hollow earth debates. There's the thing that the moon is really, because the moon doesn't spin. It's always the same face showing towards us. So that's kind of interesting, that it doesn't rotate.
It doesn't rotate, but it does move.
No, it moves. But slightly. I mean, it's always. But
we don't see the.
But is it that wobbling, or is it the Earth itself also wobbling? You know what I mean? It's like it's always the same face pointing at us.
Yeah, we never get to see the.
And like Venus, some people claim that Venus was actually a rogue planet that was captured by our star, because it's the only one that spins the other way. So
it's a lot of questions and no answers.
I mean, the answers are coming, but I mean, it's going to take a long time. I mean, we're 1,000 years from now, again, people are going to look back and say, boy, were those people stupid.
Yeah.
They had no idea how to, get into hyperspace.
I already look at us like that.
Yeah.
Because just knowing that that's going to happen in the future anyway. Why not just already?
It's like I tell everybody, people are like, well, how do you do all this shit that you do? Why are you? I said, look, we're all dead men walking. Every one of us. It's just a matter of how and when. That's it. We're all dead men walking. So figure out what you want to do. Just do shit.
Just do it. Just have fun, live life, and live it as long as possible.
Just do it.
And on that happy note.
All right, this is Attila.
I'm Will.
You never really introduced yourself.
I did. I'm that dude. Right. Just say
dude.
The dude. Big Lebowski.
Well, the Big Lebowski.
Yeah, the dude.
Love that movie. All right, so we're saying good night, y'all, and hey, go Buccos!
Go Pens.
Go Pens too. Yeah.
They're playing too.
Yeah, that's preseason.
All right.
Are we done?
I don't know.
Are we done?
Pressed it yet.
Oh, you haven't pressed it yet? All right,
no,
go Bucks. Go all Steelers.
Keep yelling.
Pittsburgh
just
teams.
keep yelling.
Yay!
And I'll just cut it off right in the
Jimmy
middle.
Buffett.